Yes, indeed. What's happening? You fantastic and glorious degenerates of this floating rock we call Earth. Welcome to the test live of Off the Wire. I am your host, Noella Lynn, aka the Cajun Libertarian. FYI, this is not a real show. This is a test to make sure that everybody can hear and see, and the internet's working good for a live connection. And so your feedback is much appreciated in the comment section to let me know whether or not this thing gets choppy on me, what the visuals look like, what the sound looks like, anything you want to correct, anything you want to ask, anything you'd like to see in the upcoming shows. It doesn't matter. Let me know because we are getting geared up for a raucous election season and a very, 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 very fun time on the internet. Robert Gregory says, looks nice and smooth. That is phenomenal because for those of you that don't know, we bought this house in April. I'm sitting in a giant shop right now that came with the house. Half the shop is a shop, half the shop I built with my bare hands as a studio, which you are watching now. So I was not sure if the internet, by the way, Randy Baker, Randy, what's up, bro? It's been a year since I've been on air. It's not working at all. Who are you? Alan. Wow, Noel, your studio is really pimped out. Thank you, brother. I spent a lot of time on it. I promise you. I did a lot of work. I hope it turns out great. Look very much forward to some of the best guests of, libertarian and liberty-minded individuals whatsoever coming up in the very recent future. There's a lot of people that have been waiting for me for a long time to be back on air, and I have people waiting that you guys are going to want to hear and learn from. Top-notch economists, top-notch libertarians, Rothbardians, Mises people, ANCAPs, conservatives, hopefully some liberals or lefties for debates. We want everybody involved. So that's absolutely incredible. Glad to see that things are working out. If you can see my shirt, it says government 1 out of 5 stars. Would not recommend because if I had a choice, I'd have went negative stars, but that wasn't an option. So you get 1 out of 5 stars. All is sounding good and the camera is good. That is phenomenal. So it looks like just in this short period of time, the internet bandwidth will work just fine because I interrupted myself. I'm about like, good Lord, what seems to be sometimes a half a mile from my house. And I had to run internet all the way out here myself. And so I just in this metal shed with this insulation that you can see. This is what the shed actually looks like up here. All of the shed looks like that. I hung this OSB board and it's far away from the house. I had to run a totally different cable all the way outside. And I was like, I don't know if the internet's going to work out here for a live. I might need to record every single show. Clearly, everything seems to be freaking humming, baby. So we ready. That's incredible. Sean says, wow, Buds in reality. So many of my people already back. That's incredible. Man, so here's the plan moving forward. I think Zach says at least there's no Zoom issues. Yeah, brother. Switch over to StreamYard. I don't know what to tell you. So here's the plan moving forward. Every Tuesday and Thursday, we will be doing a show at 7 p.m. Central. They should almost all exclusively be live unless the work schedule interrupts and I cannot be here. I'll record it or we will delay that show. But it will happen one or the other. Dana, I lost y'all in the purge of 2020. Glad to see you back, brother. I'll tell you what, I got my for most of the people that know me originally is from Facebook, where I had that 40-something thousand or 30, almost 40,000, I don't know, about 40,000 follower Facebook page. That joker got permanent. So I can't get a new Facebook account whatsoever. Don't even try to count on me there. I'm going to be exclusively streaming to X, Rumble, and then if I can survive on YouTube, I'm going to survive on YouTube. But I'm pretty much done with the censorship. We are in the end game now, folks. We don't have time to be playing words and trying to keep certain platforms that literally propose every anti-human, pro-communist ideology there is, like YouTube. I'm not going to kowtow to that. I'd rather have 30 people every show than have 300 and have to give those psychopaths that literally fund our mortal enemies money and attention. Only reason I'm streaming to YouTube right now is because that channel's still up. I will leave it up. I will stream to that channel. However, I will not kowtow to their rules and regulations. I'm going to say what I want to say, and they can nuke the account. And if it has to, I will stream exclusively to X because we are at the inroad here. We have decisions to make, and those decisions are paramount to our survival as a liberty-based society. We're beyond that, well beyond that. And I refuse to give these people money. I refuse to help them out. So I'm gonna say what I want to. I'm gonna say what I want to say. And if YouTube wants to ban me for it, oh well. That channel wasn't doing anything anyway. Barely had over 1,000 subscribers. Worked on it for years. Kept getting just torched into the ground because God forbid somebody actually talk about, I don't know, things like COVID or don't trans the kids. Such controversial topics, people. 10 years ago, this was basic knowledge. You scared, stay home. Everybody else, go to work. Can't shut the economy down. Don't do stupid crap that's going to hurt you. So, no, I'm going to say what I want, and YouTube can crush me, and that's fine. I don't care. In the next coming week or so, I will be initiating a Rumble account. Again, obviously, that's going to be starting from zero. So, that is, I've never had a Rumble account, but whatever. We're going to work it. This is called grassroots. You know what we don't get the advantage of? Corporate media funding. We don't get that. Do we? No. So, grassroots. If you have an audience of 5, you preach that message, period. And you build it from the bottom up and the middle out, as the fake Democrats like to say, over and over and over and over and over again. Beat it into your head while they freaking give all of their wealthy donors the best they could ever get. And then they'll send Don Lemon out to the street. That's hilarious, by the way. The fact that this man has now gotten fired from CNN, couldn't hold a contract with X. He's forced to do man on the street interviews. And now Don Lemon is out there telling people that are literally looking him in the face and said, bro, I was better 4 years ago. My money sucks. My business sucks. And he looks them dead in their eyes and says, the statistics says you're wrong. The economy is much better now. Bro, can you get more elitist than that? Can you? Can you really get any more elitist than that? You done fired. You've been fired from everywhere. You're forced to do man on the street YouTube videos. And then you're going to look at people in their face while they tell you their money hurts and tell them they're wrong. Could you have any less of a soul? My God, you despicable, pathetic human being. You should cease to exist from any sort of relevancy whatsoever. We shouldn't even be talking about this clown via highlights. He should be out. Derision is an acceptable form of punishment. Robert, would you ever consider having watchers on overcalls for libertarian discussions? I'd like some more clarification on that, but yeah. I'm open to pretty much anything, man. Like the show I ran that was downloaded in 40 different countries that wound up being wildly successful. We talked about anything and everything. And, I'm not sure quite what you're asking, but yes, I'm open to that discussion. Rise to Liberty. I dig the studio, brother. Thank you. Thank you very, very much. Let me ask you all this. These fluorescent lights that I had designed. Well, some of them I didn't have designed. Obviously, the off the wire one is clearly designed. That's my brand. But these are they too bright? Let me ask you that. Got to get you back on my show in the near future, brother. Send me a DM. I'm down anytime. I'm ready, bro. I'm here. It took a long time. It took a lot of prayer. It took a lot of concentration, a lot of blood and sweat, quite literally, putting this together to try to make sure that when I come back, I came back to the fullest. That's why I've been waiting so long. I had to get everything in order. We bought a house. We just had a brand new baby. There's lots going on. And I wanted to make sure that when I got back, I had the rest I needed so that I would not suffer burnout because we were in crucial times. DM me. Let's go. Let me know. I'll be on your show immediately as soon as humanly possible. We are ready. We are good to go. But Sean, they want you to get excited about inflation at 2.9%. Never mind the fact that everything has gone up 40% since 2020. Yeah, it's just so ridiculous. It's like, explain to me how the Democrats explain inflation. Okay, fine. Well, I weighed 300 pounds last year. Well, now I only weigh 303 pounds. So only gained 3 pounds. Within the next year, I only weighed 302 pounds. So only gained 1 pound. So inflation is down 10%. No, it's not down. It's not down even remotely close. It's just not nearly as bad. And there's a multitude of factors of that. A big reason for that is people actually engaging back into the economy because they don't trust the current system that's happening, plus the COVID situation. We were waiting on all the money printing from, you guessed it, both Trump and Biden. We ain't doing that here. Everybody's getting called out. Okay? Everybody. Both of them started this. Trump lit the fire, Biden threw gas on it. So we're trying to recover. Hopefully, in Jesus' name, Trump has learned from those mistakes. I've heard some conversations. We'll see. Elon Musk did actually a fantastic job of explaining inflation to Trump. We'll see if he takes it to heart. We'll see. Saints are blurry. PM. Don't miss Noel Golf on the Legacy right next week. Oh, yeah, there you go. Y'all, whenever he drops that was a fire episode that I was on this past Saturday. You're going to want to watch that. That was incredible. I don't think I could change the how bright the Saints is. That's all I can do is turn it off. So, but thank you. Again, the Saints one could come down. Very good. Thank you. I appreciate all of that. Oh, never mind. He's a Redskins fan. Never mind. You got me, bro. No, who that, baby? God bless you and your family. Congrats on the house and the new baby. Thank you, brother. That means so freaking much to me. It's been a wild ride. We had the baby on the living room floor. Not a joke. Not planned. Didn't even make it out the front door. I had to deliver it. Had the baby on the living room floor at 4:15 in the morning and clocked it. 4:15. Paramedics rushed in right at the last minute, helped finish off the job, snipped it, boom, took mom and baby to the hospital. I was behind in tow in the car. Not a joke. That was an intense situation. That really happened. So kudos to my wife, man. What a queen. You guys, and we'll never know outside of what I tell you. That woman is just unbelievable. Rise to liberty. Hell yeah, dude. We'll get something planned. Yes, the white balance. That's right. Just DM me on Twitter. I believe we follow each other on Twitter or X. Give me a DM there. Oh, the white balance on your camera needs to be adjusted. Ooh, Lord, have mercy. I don't know how to do that. I'll look into it. Of course. that LSU is too bright too. Take it down. Oh, and you're a Gators fan. Oh my gosh. Banned and reported. A Redskins and a Gators. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You're just done. You're done, bro. You're done. I'm totally kidding. Burn the Fed. Metaphorically. He's saying it metaphorically. Internet. Robert, F Trump, F Biden, F Harris, F most of the Congress. They're destroying the economy. I think it might be gone, bro. I mean, if we're being honest, America kind of signed its death warrant in 1913, in the dead of night when we created the Federal Reserve on Jekyll Island. I mean, you just can't come back from that. We have history. Every single prosperous society that instituted central banking wound up going into forever wars, and they murdered themselves. Metaphorically, internet. They ended their own country. It all starts with central banking and then sexual depravity. You can look it up. Talked about it on the show this past Saturday. Check it out. It will be brought up again. It will be brought up again. Father, husband, podcaster, midwife. Okay, that's freaking that's amazing. That's a great joke. All right, great job. Great job. At least it ain't Bama. Bro, I'll be honest with you. Between LSU and Florida, Florida is now the bigger rivalry because Bama is just you can't really call yourself a rival when you win like 2 games in 2 decades. That's not a rival. You're just getting your skull beat in. But Florida, no, that's different. But Sean, your wife is a legend. Oh, she's unbelievable in so many ways. The third kid now. The first one we planned was induced. The last 2 now, we didn't make it in time for the epidural. We made it in time for the hospital. The last kid didn't even make it to the front door this time. Crazy. Welcome home, little baby. Ain't no doubt we were all joking about it. We were all joking about it. Great story. Congratulations. Thank you. Yeah, if you've never been a part of something like that, which I assume that the vast majority of modern generation, we're just used to hospitals. We kind of forget that the fact that this is just how we did things for generations. Like the entire human civilization is alive without hospitals. You know what I mean? Which is pretty incredible. So, but it is foreign territory to us for sure. And me included. Like it's just and I've got extensive medical experience within the military and prior. Bro, I never worked in OBGYN. I never delivered a baby before. I just knew at one point you're looking at the situation, you're like, yo, we're cooked. We're not leaving. There ain't no other choice but to take a deep breath and push. And there it is. Boom. Sounded clear, a little bright. Okay, great. Thank you. What is going on, Matthew? What up? Yeah, dead serious. The Fed is the fourth central bank. They never learn. They never, ever, ever learn. And you know what? I honestly think I don't think they care. If I'm gonna be totally honest with you, look, every genocidal communist dictator, and this is all where it starts out, right? You got to control the money. They're all rabid capitalists. Everybody you call a communist in Congress, they're rabid capitalists. They love the free market. They love the resources. They just don't want them for you. It's communism for thee, but not for me. Mark it. Check it. They all love it. They love free market capitalism. You're just not allowed to have it because you're too stupid, you peasant. You will produce what we tell you to produce. And when we're done with that, we will redistribute what you have done. But not them. No. It's just another repackaged form of feudalism. 2-tier society. Elites, peasants. No middle class. That's a really good point from Zach. I am the legacy of Jenny Kaiser. The death warrant was when Lincoln signed the National Bank Act. Yeah, that was like it's like the precursor to the I mean, you kind of can't get to the Federal Reserve without the National Bank Act, but you can also not go to central banking because that act could, been just done away with and should have, obviously. Lincoln was a terrible president. Most Republicans hate that. I guess everybody hates it, but you can't suspend habeas corpus during a time of war and expect people to applaud you. And then we put them on Mount Rushmore. It's wild, like totally delusional. He's been a terrible person. You're just forget the fact he's a president. Even the idea of supporting suspending habeas corpus, you're a monster. Like no sane, compassionate, pro-human being would ever want to do that. It's evil on its face. More agorism, please. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. That's what it is. We literally are ran by satanic globalist, good Lord, satanic globalist pedophiles. Sorry, y'all. I've been off for almost a year, so I still got to work out the stuff, being on air. It's been goofy. Lincoln set the tone for the ultimate dystopia. Not a doubt. No doubt. And it could be argued that it was set before that. But you've got certain monumental situations along the course of history where, like, if we really look at it, it was about 17 years after the Constitution was really ratified, and it started to get violated by the court system. And never forget that the reason we even seceded from England was because of judicial tyranny. If you get past the first page of our national divorce letter, aka the Declaration of Independence, you'll see that almost the rest of it is just judicial tyranny. Period. It's just there. It's a fact. And so that's what the court started violating it within less than 20 years of it being established. And then once the courts start to violate it, then you get demonstrable acts being passed. Because if you have people willing to, birds of a feather flock together, birds of a feather. If they're all willing to do the same thing, well, what the hell? Okay, you're going to do it? Okay, well, I'll do this thing then. And then they all just keep going. And then they come back to you and they say, well, I have to violate this thing in order to get this other thing passed because I can't get anybody on my side if I don't do it. See the game they're playing? Robert, I wish we had a million different currencies competing with each other. Dollar, hard currencies, crypto, trade, barter. Let the market and businesses determine what payments they accept. Right. But the problem with that is you've got to understand where the influence comes from, right? Where does the incentivization come from? Well, ultimately it's going to come from the bankers. The bankers are actually going to have way more sway over the central bank because the bankers have the money. Well, who are the bankers? I'll name you the big three, and I hope you never forget them. State Street, Vanguard, BlackRock. Those three. And all three of those are global elitist communists. And they control almost all of the investment market, right? So it's going to be very tough when you've got a handful of elites with all of the money that are doing the influencing, saying, no, we want to keep this dollar. We don't want that dollar. Who are they going to listen to? Who are they going to listen to? It's going to have to be done black market, y'all. I'm just telling you. It's going to have to. The blockchain currency, I think, is a great step forward. Ultimately, if I'm being fast forward all the way through the process, if the lights go out, ammunition and food. And I think gold and silver do have some value simply because they've withstood all economic crises since the beginning of human written history, right? All the way dated back to the beginning of the Bible. You can see that gold and silver, precious metals, they have some sort of intrinsic value. Look, I can't explain it. I don't get it. I don't understand why they do, other than it seems to be spiritual. So if that's something that you're like very informed in, crypto and precious metals, highly suggest. I'm starting to get into precious metals. I can't trust blockchain currency because they desperately want to rain down on the internet. And I wouldn't be surprised if it's not the fact that they want to cut off the lights, except for to end our ability to communicate via the internet like this, right? And they just can't seem to get a grip on it. And if they shut that down, well, obviously crypto's out of the question. So you can still have your precious metals and you can still have ammo and food and ability to survive and create clean drinking water. That's massive. Good words right here. Zach says, Dragon is less than a penny right now. It might be something to jump on. It might be. Check it out. The crypto guys. I was going to say Crispo guys. Crypto guys. Country died November 22nd, 1963. A lot of people believe that. I don't know how necessarily true that is. I would say that democracy, for sure, the Democratic Republic part of the country died that day. Because at that point, it was they could just slide that piece of paper across to any other sitting president and say, you don't do what we say. and this is you, right? I would say that part, the end of meritocratic negotiation. Um, I still think, beyond a shadow of a doubt, no matter what, your best form of success and opportunity is going to be to vote local, to take control over your local area. Federal politics is really just a song and dance at this point. We're watching it right now. They're just spitting in your face. They're telling you there's no president. Joe Biden is still the president, y'all. Where did that dude at? He couldn't even get through a speech last night. It was terrible. And shame on whoever put that guy up on a stage at 11:45 at night. Shame on you. And shame on everyone that made that guy run through this gauntlet. He's an evil tyrant, and it's probably a great way for him to go out to be the absolutely most shamed president, to be literally forced out via coup of his own party. The most disgraced exit of any presidency whatsoever. He deserves it. But come on, man, he's still an old man and he's clearly sick. Some of that's got to mean something. As a human being, that means something. Despite what he's done in the past, he's clearly an old, deteriorating human being, and whoever put him up to this probably deserves to go to jail because he did not have informed consent on this. This guy's been gone for a minute. That's why they had the basement campaign him under the guise of COVID in 2020. They knew he was gone then. This is abuse. Does he deserve all of the shame on the way he's getting forced out? Absolutely. He's been a terrible human being. He was never the nice old man. He was always a destructive, horrible, evil human being. So he deserves that. But he ain't got that in his brain anymore. That doesn't exist. This thing doesn't work. So he's not operating on informed consent. And if you can't see that, I can't help you. So a little bit of compassion for somebody who's literally going out of their mind, being forced through something. That part, people need to be held accountable. However, yeah, bro, you deserve to be the most shamed president on your way out the door. That part's real. You're a terrible person. Doesn't have the ability to do that anymore. I went on that rant there and I'm like 40 something. I can't answer all these comments, y'all. Thank you. That's awesome. There's my boy. Oh, is it working on YouTube? That's the first YouTube. Hey, look, this is really cool though, because for a long time before I took my break, I could not see X comments. I could not see X views. And I'm literally just ran this as a test, just to have a few minutes with y'all to make sure that everything was working right. Brothers, I guess on Twitter and maybe YouTube combined, there's 80 views. 80 live congruent viewers right now. That's remarkable for an internet test. You guys are amazing. Just buckle up. This is going to get out of control. I've got to get a printer so I have like content to talk about and not just riff. This is going to get buck wild, and the guests are going to be amazing. Stick around. Set your alarm. You don't have to hit the notifications bell for me. That way you don't get all freaking every time. My goodness, please don't see me every time I tweet. Oh, I got some notes on for some of those people, and it drives me insane. They tweet so much. And I think I tweet a lot too. I'm trying to regulate that. But you can set an alarm. Tuesdays and Thursdays, 7 Central on X and YouTube and eventually Rumble. I'll get that Rumble site to you ASAP. I got to create one first. Before I wanted to do anything, you can't see the rest of this. None of the rest of this is finished, but there's like another 40 times 10 feet over there that I've also decked out as out of screen studio. It's not even finished. And so I just figured what I needed to do was get this part done and get back on air ASAP because it's just too important. And if you look at my pinned tweet, it was the last show I did, I believe, and it's got over 110,000 views. That was telling you what was coming about Disease X. I was one of the first ones to jump on it. And so I still hold that in the back of my mind, by the way. They want to talk about monkeypox, but everybody know that ain't a real thing. I mean, it's a real thing, obviously, but there's easy ways to avoid it. They never addressed Disease X. They let it drop because it caused too much friction too fast. I'm not saying they're going to come back with it. I just noticed a pattern here. Whenever they will push where there's mush, and then when they get pushed back, they say, "Oh, well, we weren't actually trying to go that far." And then they'll roll it back around. They'll repackage it and roll it back around in 6 to 8 to 12 months. Yeah, I mean, it would obviously be different than Temple, but I'm trying to set this up as live guests. I've already got some guests that will be able to. Some of y'all know them, um, but I just don't have the knowledge and I don't have the camera equipment. Because if I set my camera up far enough back for you to see the live interview guest part, we'd all look like itty bitty and you wouldn't be able to see our faces. And nobody wants to be able to see that. So I bailed on that for now. I'm gonna try to get some help ASAP to fix that part of it. So we can have live in-person guests. Live in-person guests. Can't wait for that. It's gonna be incredible. So how many of y'all watching the DNC? I was probably pretty surprised it hasn't gotten more violent than it has. Or maybe it's just not being shown. I don't know. But it's obviously so fake and gay. Like, oh, it's so cringe. It's so cringe. But you gotta watch it. You gotta look at that stuff. It's unfortunate. There's a lot of cringe all over the place. But these people, these absolutely devoid of any measurable intellectualism whatsoever. These are the people that rule over us. It's the enemy class is not filled with impressive people, y'all. They're morons. You got a handful of people at the top, at the very top. They're probably evil geniuses. And then you've just got tens and thousands of Kamala Harrises running around who have the IQ of an acorn. I mean, 17 minutes ago, they were talking about kicking her off the vice presidential ticket. I'm not joking. You have the receipts, man. They were talking about kicking her off the ticket just a few months ago because that's how much everybody hates her. I'm not saying it's all fake, but it ain't real. If that makes sense. That much I'll promise you. It ain't real. It's just that they don't care. And the Democrat Party and a massive part of the Republican Party, they're just stupid. Their entire bases, almost all of it. That's it. They're dumb. And here's your black pill. You can't fix stupid. You can't fix people that will, after years of debunked lies, years, and even Snopes, great example, even Snopes had to come out and say it. And still, that doddering old man last night said Trump said neo-Nazis were good. There were good people on both sides. Man, that's been debunked for years. We have video after video after audio after video and audio proving he didn't say that. And the old man still said it last night. You know why? Because every Democrat, every cultist Democrat that knows that's a lie will just now be able to say without consequence, but we all know he's just an old man and he loses train of thought and he forgets things. But the 90% of their base don't know it's fake. And they'll hear Joe Biden say it. And be like, oh, yeah, that's right. He did call neo-Nazis good people. Because that's the electorate you're dealing with, people. They're stupid. And they're cultists. And you've got a massive amount on both sides. Scales ain't tipped that bad. You just got one side looks a hell of a lot better than the other, but their whole base is still stupid. Trump could walk out and say everything that Kamala said, and all his folks would still praise him. except for the people that are already willing to criticize him. The Democrats don't do that, man. They just walk in lockstep. You know, you got some big pontificators on the right that will be like, yeah, he said that. Yeah, that's wrong. No, he shouldn't do. I mean, I hear it habitually. You very rarely hear that from the other side. You know, they're a well-oiled machine. It's called communism, and they've been doing it for years, decades. You just it looks so much different than any other form of communism that we've studied, because these people are much smarter than all of those other people. And we have a huge fight. We have a huge uphill battle ahead of us. And if we're gonna steal a playbook that worked for the communists, I'm stealing this one, and that's let's spend our entire lives pushing the needle towards liberty and away from communism, even if it means only 1 centimeter. Put every effort of the rest of your life into moving at that 1 centimeter. That's what they've done for decades, and that's why we're here. This is a religion to them. It is a non-monotheistic religion to them, and they will die to see at least an inch of that religion gain ground. We don't have that. We don't have that. Not yet. Not yet. And with that, I'll say I will see you Thursday night at 7 p.m. Central right here. Love y'all. I'm out.